This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
So shameless Ted Cruz is promoting a new book. Yeah, the one who helped incite the insurrection, who is at the center of overturning the election, that Ted Cruz. I'm Brittany Page. I'm filling in for Jesse Dollemore as he recovers from his colon cancer surgery. He's doing well. He is now at home recovering, and he's in a lot of pain. He's sleeping a lot. He's taking his medications, trying to manage that pain, but he's doing well. And he so much appreciates, both of us do, your love and support and all of the positivity that you have been sending his way. So thank you for that. Now, Ted Cruz, shameless, promoting the big lie every chance he gets. Remember, he opposed the certification of the election results in Arizona and Pennsylvania. Well, like I said, he's promoting a new book, and some of the excerpts of the book have been coming out. And I want to read just a little bit to kind of set up our conversation here. So here's one excerpt from the book. Suddenly, Capitol police officers rushed in and hastily escorted the vice president off the dais. Shortly thereafter, we paused the proceedings. In the fog of the confusion, it was difficult to tell what exactly was happening. We were informed that a riot had broken out and that rioters were attempting to violently breach the Capitol building. At first, Capitol Police instructed us to remain on the Senate floor, and so we did. Then a few minutes later, they instructed us to evacuate rapidly. Difficult to tell what exactly was happening. Confusion. I love how Ted Cruz is confused about the mob taking over the Capitol after he helped to incite the violence. It seems interesting that he's confused about what was happening that day, because you'll remember that 2 nights before the election certification in Congress, Ted Cruz was actually on the radio with Mark Levin. And in that discussion, he was talking about his objections to the certification of Joe Biden's presidential election win. And this is according to reporting from the Texas Tribune. Cruz told Levin that there were some conservatives who in good conscience disagree with his view of Congress's role in certifying the presidential election results, and that he had talked to them and did not fault them. On the other hand, Cruz said, there were some Republicans who are not conservatives, but who are piously and self-righteously preening when it comes to this issue. But in the book excerpt, he's confused about the mob storming the Capitol. It was difficult for him to tell exactly what was happening. So how does that line up? He's giving an interview with Mark Levin 2 nights before the Electoral College certification. But in the book excerpt, he's confused about the mob storming the Capitol. So it was difficult for him to tell what was going on. So how does this make sense? 2 nights before the Electoral College certification, he's on the radio talking about his plans to object and how it's actually reasonable, how there's some conservatives in good conscience. Doesn't exactly make sense. But remember, this is the Ted Cruz who called the January 6th riot a terrorist attack, only to then later say that he misspoke when he realized that was not super politically popular for him to say. Yeah, that Ted Cruz. Let's continue reading from his book here, excerpts from his book, because we want to get into how Ted Cruz, rugged alpha male Ted Cruz, how he responded to the mob that he helped incite, how he responded once they were in the Capitol. Cruz said senators were led to a secure location where tempers were high, with several senators blaming us explicitly for the violence that was occurring. In his book, Cruz continued, while we waited for the Capitol to be secured, I assembled our coalition in a back room, really a supply closet with stacked chairs, to discuss what we should do next. Several members of the group argued that in the face of the riot, we should suspend our objections and vote to certify the election. I understood the sentiment, but I vehemently disagreed with it. I urged my colleagues that the course of action we were advocating was the right and principled one. Ah, yes. It's always the defenders of traditional masculinity that are, pumping their fist in the air at the insurrectionists only to be caught on camera running for fear of their life. Like Josh Hawley, right? Or like Ted Cruz, who is standing principled, objecting to the election certification and promoting the big lie that the election was stolen from Donald Trump, only to have him then hide in a closet when the insurrectionists are storming the Capitol. It's always these types who talk about traditional masculinity and complain about the woke military, which Ted Cruz has done. He's used the word pansies when talking about the military, but he hid in a closet when the insurrection was happening. Makes a lot of sense. What do you think? Call us, leave us a voicemail, 714-576-4054, or you can send us an email, daily@dollemore.com. You can also become a YouTube channel member for as little as $2 a month. It goes a long way to support what we do here. And if you value what we do here, you appreciate it, we would very much recommend and thank you for that support. And listen, as Jesse says, if we're not your flavor and you prefer another progressive, independent media outlet, please support them. It's important to support, like, comment, retweet, do all of the things that you can to share with people and promote independent media outlets that you really value. So please do that. If you'd like to support us on Patreon, you can do that as well. Patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. The I Doubt It podcast is a show that Jesse and I have hosted together for over 8 years. It is a podcast, so it is separate and apart from YouTube. And as he recovers, the episodes have been a little spotty, but normally it is 2 times a week. So check that out if you are into podcasts. Thank you so much for being here with me today. As Jesse would say, be genuine and take care of one another.